Beautiful skies for the penultimate day of racing on La Vuelta. All jerseys more or less spoken for, as Pedersen underscoring his greatness in green with victory once again into Talavera. Remco Evenepoel with a gap of 2 minutes and 7 over Enric Mas, Ayuso in third place for United Arab Emirates ahead of Miguel Angel Lopez. But minor places, could they possibly change? The festival about to draw to a close and would do in Madrid, but first a day of mighty racing with huge altitudes to take on at pace. Well, the greats were assembling themselves for a last push up to the high ground. Plenty of climbing with a plateau finish. Hugs of encouragement being offered up to Juan Ayuso, wearing the Young Riders Classification jersey on behalf of Remco Evenepoel. Well, he's at one age of the age spectrum. Valverde, another. The old guard handing over to the new, you might say. Nervous day for Remco Evenepoel and, of course, his Quick-Step Alpha Vinyl team. They knew that on such terrain he would face attacks. When would they come and how would they materialise? We would only know by the end. Out of the back door they would be climbing, rolling terrain leading to the first peak, one of 3 Category 1 tests with a plateau finale. Well, with the terrain looking as it did, it was always going to draw a breakaway, and we had some very strong turns up there. Mühlberger first with Marc Soler, Rob Stannard, Thibaut Pinot was involved, Gino Maeda. Others came to join the fun, and it swelled to an enormous breakaway, but was too big to succeed. It was bound to shatter. And so it was that pushing off the front went Rob Stannard with Marc Soler. Stannard himself, well placed in the King of the Mountains jersey competition, and suddenly thought, well, maybe, I can take some inroads into the polka dot jersey owned and worn by Richard Carapaz. Stannard was collecting points, and with so many up for grabs on the final day, how would it pan out? Final day of racing, that is. Still Madrid to come, but it was the mountains that were characterising the day and the ability to drive into them. Well, Richard Carapaz was not about to be unseated and wanted to make an enormous statement. 2 stage wins to his name already in this race. Was he hunting down another? Louis Meintjes, also in determined mood, a man who's taken a stage win in this race, and with Sergio Higuita, the Colombian champion, on his wheel, it was a good bridge and a good idea to get over to Richard Carapaz. The red jersey group was starting to close in. Remco Evenepoel was sustaining drives from others, but he was keeping his eye on Enric Mas, constantly neutralising his efforts. O'Connor was getting involved, so was Tiemann Arensman. Meanwhile, out front, Carapaz was making sure of that polka dot jersey, and more than that, starting to think about a stage win, another one. Well, the gap was to close down to a remarkable 11 seconds to Richard Carapaz. The red jersey group couldn't decide on a coordinated attack. None of them were prepared to work for the others. It was the same deal up front. Higuita coming over to Carapaz. They argued. Miguel Angel Lopez went on the attack from the main group, and the sad sight was, of course, Rodriguez, Spanish champion, struggling. He wasn't alone either on the day. Carapaz hitting out. A modest margin indeed, and once he'd reached the plateau, yet more mountain points had gone his way, but the possibilities were, well, it seemed outstanding, and maybe endless. Tiemann Arensman set off in hot pursuit, shouldering every single one of the corners, trimming off the apex. Could he possibly catch Richard Carapaz? Well, under the Flamme Rouge, it was going to be Carapaz for Ineos Grenadiers. 3 stage wins it would be for him, and that polka dot jersey. An emphatic display from a man who started off as team principal and had to cede that role at the beginning of the race. Delight for him, and a big push as well from Arensman, knowing that there was other places up for grabs. He sprinted home, threw the bike to the line, and behind him it was a question of retrieval. Ayuso secure in third place. Evenepoel knowing he had won overall. Carapaz with 3 wins and a polka dot jersey. And Rodriguez dropping down the order. The tears flowed for Evenepoel. The congratulations sportingly offered up, of course, by Carlos Rodriguez, who must have been disappointed. This is how the day finished. Carapaz taking it ahead of Arensman, the brave. Margin only 8 seconds at the line. Ayuso, Hindley, Mas, Evenepoel, Menkes, Lopez, Almeida. The tears and the emotions just poured out of our champion. He will, of course, be crowned in Madrid, but Remco Evenepoel has done it for himself, for his country, and of course his team. Evenepoel wins La Vuelta by a margin of 2 minutes and 5, barring any mishaps tomorrow into Madrid. Rodriguez falling to 7th place. Almeida 5th, Arensman up to 6th by a margin of just 1 second at the end. Carapaz raised his arms today. He will do again when he takes that polka dot jersey, finally in Madrid, where all jerseys are awarded. Remco Evenepoel will of course be in red. Amazing battles. It raged the entire day, and we've got more fighting for the sprinters tomorrow. It may be something of a parade for those who have battled out for all of the jerseys, but there is a sprint stage to be won. No mountains points on offer and no changes in the overall, but you can be certain that this Vuelta will never disappoint, even to the very last, as we head to Madrid.